Hello and welcome to my video presentation for Business and Administrative Communications. My name is Spencer Phillips. Today I'm going to be introducing the key concepts of the book Presenting to Win by Jerry Weissman. Jerry Weissman is a graduate of Stanford University. He originally began his professional career as a producer and playwright for CBS, but when a friend of his who worked as the chairman of the board for Compaq invited him to help their CEO with his business presentations, he began a consulting company called Power Presentation. Since then, he has helped more than 600 companies achieve success in business. The text that we'll be discussing today is written by Jerry Weissman. It's called Presenting to Win, The Art of Telling Your Story. It'll discuss some important concepts such as what is a persuasive argument, what's in it for you, how do you analyze an audience, and how do you capture their attention. One of the key concepts of this is what Weissman calls the WIFI, or what's in it for you. Persuasive argument has to be organized so that the audience clearly knows what the purpose of your presentation and how is it going to benefit them. One of the ways that you can do this is by making sure you focus on benefits, not on features. For example, this computer that I'm currently recording on is a Dell Inspiron 530. It has 12 gigabytes of RAM and an Intel i7 processor. But those are features. If I were to frame that as a benefit as a businessman, I would say, or a salesman, I would say that this computer is on the cutting edge of technology and that it'll do things faster and allow you to accomplish more tasks. Additionally, you want to make sure that when you're creating your presentation, it's to the current audience, not the end user. For example, at work, I have been tasked with creating a new training program for pilots that are coming to work for our company. When I pitched this program to my bosses, however, I wanted to focus on the Wi-Fi statement that targeted them, which was, this will save us money. We don't have to send our pilots to a separate company to do the training. We can do it in-house ourselves, and we'll get our pilots back quicker and at a lower cost. When you're creating a presentation, knowing your audience and what they're interested in will tell you a lot about how you're going to adapt and adjust your presentation for them specifically. If you're unsure how to do that, sometimes knowing the demographics, the nationality, age, gender, etc. of your audience will help out. One of the things that I do when I'm teaching classroom sessions is we are breaking them into groups by aircraft, even though some of the concepts are common to all of them. The younger groups are generally on the smaller aircraft. The older ones have been around a little longer are in the bigger aircraft. When I teach the older pilots, I find that I've had to put more brakes into my presentations and training sessions because they tend to get a little bit sleepier, a little bit quicker, and they need a little bit more downtime to process information, especially if it's new information that they haven't encountered before. Speaking of capturing your audience attention, there's several different ways that you can do it. Weissman calls it an opening gambit. It's 7 different methods that he's listed. For example, you can ask a question to your audience. It might be a rhetorical question, or you might actually get some participation back. It depends. Or you can give a factoid, an interesting fact that nobody in the audience, hopefully no one already knows. Or you can do a respective perspective, which is where you look at the past, you talk about the present, and then you look to the future. You can tell a story, like an anecdote. An aphorism is a saying. It's commonly understood, like measure twice, cut once. Or you can give an analogy. A pencil named Steve is one of the best openings that I have ever seen given, where I saw a student give a presentation on donating blood or convincing people to donate blood, and he held up his pencil. He talked about it was his favorite pencil, and he said, "My pencil's name is Steve." And then he snapped it in half in front of everybody. When he did that, he said, in a moment, you cared enough about an inanimate object, a pencil. How much more should we care about our fellow human being? That's why I'm here to convince you to give blood. And it was one of the most memorable opening gambits that I've seen. I still remember it years later. When we give presentations, I think that nobody really has a natural ability to be a public speaker. But something that I've always remembered is that Moses was not a natural public speaker as well. Heavenly Father called him to be a prophet, and he said, "I'm slow of speech and of a slow tongue," was his first thought. Not facing Pharaoh or any of the other things that he would see in Egypt. Paul also talked about how his infirmities prevented him, although he never really mentioned what it was. He did say that when he is weak, then I am strong. He's talking about humility. The goal of all communications, whether it's business or not, is to uplift and improve humanity. The spoken word has amazing power to motivate others and should be developed and practiced. Therefore, let no communication proceed out of your mouth but that which is good, to use of edifying, that may minister grace unto the hearers. Thank you for this presentation, and I'm hoping that you enjoyed it.